let's cross the pond and talk to Jon-Christopher, Bua, White House correspondent for Real Political News. Hello, John.
Look, it's great to be with you again on Sunday evening, Monday morning. Happy Bastille Day. It's already the 14th of July now.
Oh, I don't have my costume or whatever is appropriate.
Vive la France.
Yes, absolutely.
Never mind.
Close enough for jazz, yes.
Right.
Well, let's start with France then, shall we? Because France is part of the European Union, of course, and Donald Trump woke up in a grumpy mood one day and started to throw his tariffs around. Does any of this make any sense to you?
Well, he's going to be nice to some people, and he's not going to be nice to other people, and he's going to use his tariffs as in deals. He's making deals, and that's what he thinks he's doing. He's once again failed to meet his own deadline with these great deals. He said he was going to get all these tariffs, and he still hasn't gotten them. And he's pushing the Congress to come through on these tariffs, but he hasn't really done anything. He's got letters from this one, letters from that one, but he really doesn't. And the tariffs are his own way of retribution against his weapon against Brazil or Canada or this one or that one. I don't know about the UK. I don't think so. But he's using them as a leverage and in a sense as a retribution. And now he wants to impose tariffs on uranium and other precious metals that any of the countries all over the world are selling to Russia. And if they sell any of these, are buying from Russia.
Yes.
Putin's selling, they're buying. Let's get that straight.
Right.
They're buying from Russia, and now he's going to punish them for buying anything from Russia that he doesn't like. So he's just using it as if he's running the candy store on the corner, and he's not. You can't have this. You can have this, and that's what he's doing. And he doesn't realize that this is a country run by Congress and by members of both parties. And he thinks that he will give new sanctions against Russia by doing this, and he's going to punish Putin, who he said off the cuff he's going to bomb the hell out of Moscow. Now, I don't know how serious he was, but when you say that to the most powerful man in the world who's got the briefcase, it does make your eyes open a tiny bit.
Yeah, he also said that he was going to bomb the hell out of Beijing, and he says all sorts of crazy, stupid things.
Right.
And he said that when he started throwing his tariffs around, like a sort of monkey throws its poop around its cage in the zoo, he said all these countries, they're coming over and they're kissing my ass, and my ass, presidential language. And we come to find out that
you got the Queen's accent down, Nick.
Thank you. And we come to find out that nobody was kissing his ass, and these demented letters that he was sending out, demanding this and that, weren't being responded to, and he wasn't making any deals. And to the American public, how is this going down in America? Because have they figured out yet that what he's saying about a tariff isn't true, that the countries that he's tariffing don't pay, the American consumer pays?
Well, you figured that one out. The tariffs will ultimately be a punishment against the American consumer and our economy. And that's what he thinks, that we're going to buy this. But as you were referred to in a tweet, I was watching one of yours earlier, he likes uneducated people. But he's not going to, they're all not that uneducated. I have news for you. And the real Republicans are saying, what is this guy doing to our economy? This is not Ronald Reagan. This is not Eisenhower. This is not George H.W. Bush. And he's running amok, and he thinks he is the unitary president with the unitary executive, and he's up there in his tower, one guy at one desk with no board of directors, and he doesn't realize that he's appointed some hapless secretaries of the agencies, head of ministers, you would say in England, and they're really, really, really clueless, which comes down to showing how clueless the woman who was in charge of Homeland Security was when it came to the Texas flood, which was just devastating.
Yes, I mean, that really is extraordinary. I mean, the background to it is, correct me if I've got any of this wrong, that Joe, that Barack Obama offered that area, which is called Flash Flood Alley. I mean, it's not like this is an unheard of incident. It happens all the time. Despite what Donald Trump said, that it's a 1 in 1,000 year occurrence, it isn't. And so, in order to help those people, Barack Obama offered them, I think, $10 million in order to facilitate an early warning system. And they said no because, it was Barack Obama and that's a Republican area and they didn't want to take any money from Barack Hussein Obama. And Joe Biden offered them the same thing. And they said, no, thanks, because that's communism and we don't want that. And then then Biden said, OK, well, we'll give it to a Democrat area, and they said, "Oh, well, wait a minute, we'll take it," and they spent it on toys for law enforcement, not an early warning system for the floods.
And when the floods came, and Noah's Ark was not prepared, and these hundreds and hundreds of girls had died in their bunks, and it was just so tragic that no one is being held responsible, including Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, who did not send resources until Monday, long after the last survivor was found, and many are considering Trump wants to undo the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Agency and also FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency. I mean, these are what we have. The National Weather Service, the hurricane awareness in Florida, I mean, that's where they all come from. I mean, this is what he wants to undo. And not only that, Nick, he's cut 1,300 jobs from the State Department. I mean, this is where we have soft power. The U.S. State Department does wonderful things, and they are, as we talked before, they are civil servants. They're federal civil servants, and they are members of the international
sort of outreach programs.
But they're appointed. They're appointed civil service, and they're the top level of diplomats in our diplomatic corps. And they're all gone. They walked out of the State Department the day before yesterday.
Oh, that's right. They were all applauded out, weren't they?
Yes. And I'll tell you something. Going back to the hurricane, he said, ready for this? He said it was the biggest wave we've ever seen. If it was in the Pacific, a surfer couldn't be able to.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the kind of mentality he has. And all of Trump's voters live in the areas that are prone to floods and hurricanes, etc. They don't live in the Upper West Side of Manhattan or in Washington, D.C. No. Although Washington, we're getting a hell of a lot of rain, I will say that.
Right. And it does seem that finally some of Trump's actions are negatively impacting the people that voted for him. Now, are they realizing that they've been had, or are they digging their heels in ever more in fealty to the dear leader?
Well, you've got a bit of a conflict going on between the Department of Justice and the FBI with Pam Bondi, who's the Justice Department head, and Kash Patel and the deputy Dan Bongino, and Trump is being very favorable to the Bondi, who is the Justice Department head, and she was at the box at the FIFA football game between Chelsea, the Chelsea Blues, and the French team.
Yes.
Saint-Germain.
PSG, wasn't it?
Yes. Yes, PSG. He showed favoritism right there, and he's winking at her during the cup match, and the Blues won, so good for them. But it's nonstop. He's involved himself in every aspect of control, but none of leadership.
Now, Pam Bondi, of course, is at the centre of the thing that really has blown up and is sort of causing internecine strife within the MAGA movement. You've got people who are sort of leading lights of the right, who are starting to really openly attack Donald Trump about the Epstein files and the lack of the production of them. I mean, Pam Bondi, she said that it was on her desk. And then she said, well, there were no files. What files? What desk? I haven't got a desk. I haven't even got an office.
Right. I mean, you can only get away with that so long. However, if Trump's got his arm around you, if Trump's walking you into the box along with his wife and other individuals to watch a great football game, then you feel like maybe he's listening to me and maybe I'm safe. Nobody is safe with Trump because he is like the wind. He will change on you as a cross current. Now Trump's standing behind Bundy, and like you said, Bundy's denying what Trump wants to do. He does not want to release the files,
no.
And she's saying we're not going to release the files. But I mean, there's Epstein. God knows what happened to him in his cell. We missed minutes of tape, and he was found dead one way or the other, and that's questionable. And today is the year anniversary of the attempted assassination of Donald Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Yes. Now, do you think that this Epstein thing is going to be the thing that it really sort of puts a crack in the foundations of his presidency? Because more than anything else that's come up, this seems to be really exercising his own sort of MAGA fans. People like Tucker Carlson and that thin blonde woman who used to be on Fox, can't remember her name, Megyn Kelly, people like that.
Right.
People who are really luminaries of the MAGA movement. And they've all started to really attack Trump and the people around him, particularly Pam Bondi, about this sort of lack of openness. Where's the list? Where's the client list, they're saying?
Right. Well, here's what it comes down to. Many people elected Trump because he was a joke who said he would get the wall sewed up and he would lower your prices of gasoline and bread and all that other stuff, and he would be a real conservative Republican, kind of like G.H.W. Bush or whomever. And he's failed that on the economic front. That's where he's failed. So all you're left is with him holding the bag and saying, "What did I do?" But they weren't, it's like Alfred E. Newman, the cover of the magazine.
Yes.
So and they're saying, "No, I'm sorry, MAGA, whoever, Carlson, I know Tucker," and they're looking at, and the MAGA believes that Epstein lied. The Epstein files would have revealed Democratic.
Right. Yes, that's what they were hoping for. Yeah.
Not Republicans, and that's what they were looking for. This was pushed for years, and you remember that pizza place where they said Hillary had little kids locked up. It's a madness, but they want proof. They want proof. They want proof, and he's not giving them what they want. And I think will it crack? I mean, eventually all of this will come out. Whether we'll be here on this earth to appreciate it, I don't know. But he's holding steady, and he's back in town again. And it seems that Trump and his team basically were caught in their own web, their conspiracy web. And when you tell lies and you convince your base that you have the goods to prove that the Democrats are pedophiles, or that you can change the economy, or America will be greater than ever, and you don't, and you fail, then the worm turns.
Yeah. John, always great to talk to you. Thanks very much for that. Jon-Christopher Bua, White House correspondent for Real Political News. Now we're going to take a short